Did you know Sweden is home to some of the most jaw-dropping wonders in the world? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Sweden, the land of IKEA furniture that tests your relationships, ridiculously tasty meatballs, and, well, me. But trust me, there's so much more to my homeland than flat-pack nightmares and questionable food court decisions. We're talking about stuff that looks like it's been ripped straight out of a fantasy novel. Places so insane, so beautiful, you'll question if they're even real. It's not just about the minimalist design and the fika breaks, okay? It's about epic, mind-bending nature and history that will make you go, what? So I thought, why not take you guys on a little trip? A virtual tour of my home turf. We're going to dive deep into the places that make Sweden, well, Sweden. Forget everything you thought you knew. We're going beyond the stereotypes to uncover the real magic. From hotels made entirely of ice to ancient Viking cities and lights that dance across the sky, it's going to be a wild ride. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that makes you want to pack your bags immediately and just go. No assembly required for this journey, I promise. Maybe. Are you ready to have your mind absolutely blown? Because today, we're counting down the absolute must-see spots that most tourists completely miss. This is the real deal, the stuff that locals know and love. We're going to explore the weird, the wonderful, and the downright epic. So grab your lingonberry juice, get comfortable, and prepare to add a bunch of new places to your bucket list. Stick around to discover the 7 wonders of Sweden you have to see to believe. All right, first up, we're heading way up north to a place called Jukkasjärvi. And here, you'll find something that sounds completely insane. The Ice Hotel. No, that's not a clever name. It is literally a hotel made of ice. Every single year, when the winter comes and everything freezes solid, artists from all over the world come here and carve a brand new hotel out of giant blocks of ice from the nearby Ton River. We're talking ice beds, ice chairs, an ice bar where you drink out of ice glasses. Everything is ice. It's like living inside the world's most elaborate ice cube tray. And honestly, it's absolutely epic. You're probably thinking, Felix, Arvin, wouldn't I freeze to death? And that's a valid question, floor gang. But they give you these super high-tech thermal sleeping bags on top of reindeer skins, so you're actually pretty cozy. It's this bizarre, surreal experience, sleeping in a room where the walls, the art, and even your bed frame are glowing and translucent. Then, when spring comes, the whole thing just melts and flows back into the river. It's the ultimate pop-up hotel. A temporary masterpiece that exists for only a few months before disappearing forever. How cool is that, literally? Next, we're staying up in the Arctic Circle and heading to Abisko National Park. Why? Because this place is hands down one of the best spots on planet Earth to see the northern lights. The Aurora Borealis. It's like the sky decides to throw a massive silent rave just for you. Seriously, the science behind it is something about solar winds and magnetic fields, but who cares about science when you see it? It looks like giant, shimmering green and purple ribbons are being waved across the stars by some invisible cosmic giant. It's completely magical and makes you feel ridiculously small in the best way possible. Abisko is special because it has this thing called a blue hole, a patch of sky that usually stays clear, even when the surrounding areas are cloudy. It's due to the microclimate created by the massive lake and mountains. So your chances of seeing the show here are stupidly high. You can ride a chairlift up to the Aurora Sky Station, sit in the dark, and just watch the universe do its thing. There are no words, no pictures, no videos that can truly capture what it feels like to stand there in the freezing cold, watching the sky come alive. It's a core memory waiting to happen. Okay, let's get out of the cold and head towards the capital. Just outside of Stockholm is something that will break your brain. The Stockholm Archipelago. This isn't just a couple of cute islands. No. This is a sprawling, insane collection of over 30,000 islands, islets, and skerries. 30,000. It's like someone spilled a box of rocky tree-covered cereal into the Baltic Sea. You could spend your entire life exploring this place, and you would not even scratch the surface. It's absolutely massive and unbelievably beautiful. You can hop on a ferry from the city, and within minutes, you're in a completely different world. Some islands are big, with quaint villages and red wooden houses, while others are literally just a single lonely rock sticking out of the water. In the summer, Swedes flock here to go sailing, kayaking, swimming, and just escape the city. It's our national playground. You can find your own private island for the day, have a picnic, and just chill. The sheer scale of it is what's so impressive. It's an endless maze of water and land, a tranquil paradise right on Stockholm's doorstep. Now, for a little time, travel. We're hopping on a ferry to the island of Gotland, to the city of Visby. Stepping into Visby is like walking onto the set of a medieval fantasy movie. This place is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for a reason. It's the best preserved fortified commercial town in Northern Europe. You're surrounded by this massive ancient stone wall with huge watchtowers. And inside, the streets are these narrow, winding cobblestone lanes lined with crooked, centuries-old houses and church ruins. It feels like you should be dodging knights on horseback or looking for a blacksmith to forge you a sword. Visby was a huge deal back in the day, a main hub for the Hanseatic League, which was basically the medieval version of a massive trading corporation. You can just feel the history in the air. You can walk the entire city wall, which is over 3 kilometers long, and get these incredible views of the Baltic Sea and the city's rooftops. In the summer, they have a medieval week where everyone dresses up and the whole city turns into a giant Renaissance fair. It's nerdy, it's amazing, and it's one of the most unique and charming places in all of Sweden. Let's talk about one of Sweden's most impressive engineering feats, the Göta Canal. They called this thing Sweden's Blue Ribbon, and it's basically a giant 190-kilometer-long waterway that connects Stockholm on the east coast to Gothenburg on the west coast. That's insane. They built this thing in the early 1800s, mostly by hand, with soldiers digging it out. It took them 22 years. Think about that. No giant excavators, just dudes with shovels, digging across the country. The dedication is just mind-boggling. It was a huge deal for trade back in the day. Now it's not really used for commercial shipping anymore. Instead, it's become this incredibly scenic route for a slow, relaxing journey through the heartland of Sweden. You can take a vintage canal boat that slowly glides along, passing through 58 different locks and cruising over aqueducts. You just chug along at a snail's pace, watching the Swedish countryside roll by. You see rolling hills, deep forests, and picturesque little towns. It's the absolute opposite of a stressful vacation. It's pure, unfiltered chill, a journey back in time on a man-made river. You can't talk about Swedish wonders without mentioning at least one palace, right? And Drottningholm Palace is the big one. This is where our actual king and queen live. So, yeah, it's basically the Swedish version of Buckingham Palace, but I think it's way cooler. It's located on an island just outside of Stockholm, and it's another UNESCO World Heritage Site. The palace itself is this stunning 17th century building, but it's the whole package that's so incredible. You have the palace, a perfectly preserved 18th century theater, a weirdly cool Chinese pavilion, and massive, beautiful gardens. The gardens are my favorite part. There's a formal, perfectly manicured Baroque garden that looks like something out of a fairy tale. And then there's a more natural English-style park where you can just wander around. The whole estate is just huge and so grand, it feels a bit ridiculous. But it's also incredibly peaceful. You can spend a whole day here just exploring and pretending you're some fancy duke or something. It's a massive slice of Swedish royal history that you can actually walk through, and it's way more impressive in person than you'd think. Last but definitely not least, for all you adventurers and outdoor bros out there, we have Kungsleden, or the King's Trail. This is not your average walk in the park. This is one of the most famous and beautiful long-distance hiking trails in the world. It stretches for about 440 kilometers, that's like 270 miles, through the vast empty wilderness of Swedish Lapland. It takes you through some of the most dramatic and untouched landscapes in Europe. We're talking massive glacier-carved valleys, roaring rivers, and views that go on forever. The trail is split into sections, so you don't have to be a super athlete to do the whole thing. You can just pick a part of it for a few days' hike. Along the way, there's a network of mountain cabins where you can stay, so you don't have to carry a tent unless you want to. In the summer, you can hike under the midnight sun, and in the autumn, the whole landscape turns into this explosion of red and yellow. It's raw, it's challenging, and it is profoundly beautiful. It's the ultimate way to experience the pure, untamed power of Swedish nature. And there you have it. 7 wonders of Sweden that go way beyond the stereotypes. From sleeping in a hotel made of ice to walking through medieval streets and hiking under the midnight sun, my home country has some seriously epic stuff to offer. It's a place of insane contrasts, where you can find pristine, untouched nature, just a stone's throw away from centuries of incredible history and culture. These places aren't just pretty pictures. They're experiences that stick with you, the kind of adventures that make you see the world a little differently. It makes me proud to be Swedish, not gonna lie. I really hope this gave you a new perspective on Sweden and maybe even inspired you to see it for yourself one day. There's so much more to explore, of course. This is just the tip of the iceberg, the literal hotel-shaped iceberg. Each of these places tells a unique story about the land, the people, and the spirit of this weird and wonderful country. It's a reminder that there's always something amazing to discover, sometimes in places you least expect. So get out there and explore, whether it's Sweden or your own backyard. So after all that, I have to ask, which wonder of Sweden would you visit first? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing adventures.